In the 2016-2017 season, Kansas City lost to the Steelers 18-16 in the division round. The offense was considered high power, with Travis Kelce and young Tyreek Hill, but yet they struggled to put out points against great defenses, especially in that game against the Steelers. While nobody saw it coming, Andy Reid had already made up his mind that he needed a new QB that was more dynamic and could run off-the-script plays. Andy Reid was considering an offensive genius, and if y'all remember correctly, he drafted Donovan McNabb and signed Michael Vick when he was the Eagles' head coach. Reid's style of offense works better when he has a dynamic QB with a big arm that can also run around. Reid knew that he had to make a change, but nobody saw it coming as Alex Smith did turn things around for Kansas City. Alex Smith was traded to Kansas City after losing his starting position to Colin Kaepernick, but he quickly turned things around and led them to 4 playoff runs between 2013 and 2017, their first consecutive division titles in franchise history, and their first playoff victory since 1993 in the 2015 season. Smith also received 3 Pro Bowl selections with the Chiefs and led the league in passer rating in 2016. In the 2017 draft, the Chiefs had the number 27 pick, and all the mock drafts stated that they will most likely go for a cornerback or even trade out of the first round for more pick in the second round. On draft night, Kansas City traded their number 27th overall pick, a third-round pick, and their 2018 first-round pick to move up to number 10. This came as a surprise to everybody, as the only big names in the draft class were Myles Garrett, who was drafted at number 1, and Mitchell Trubisky, who was drafted at number 2 by Chicago. This move didn't make sense to most because the only big name left was Deshaun Watson, and nobody saw them draft a QB because they had Alex Smith as a QB. As a surprise to everybody, Andy Reid selected Patrick Mahomes with the 10th overall pick, and made one of the boldest moves in football history by trading up to pick a QB that was projected to be picked in the second round. But Andy didn't want to take that risk, as he was afraid that someone else could have seen what he saw in Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes, born on September 17, 1995 in Tyler, Texas, emerged into the world as the offspring of sporting excellence. His father, Pat Mahomes at the time, was in the midst of an illustrious 11-year career as a Major League Baseball pitcher. The narrative of Patrick's journey began with the genetic inheritance of his father's extraordinary talent, setting the stage for a future filled with athletic prowess. From the early stages of his life, it became unmistakably clear that Patrick had inherited his father's electric throwing arm, a quality that would later distinguish him in the world of professional sports. Patrick's formative years were unique, spent amidst the hustle and bustle of big league clubhouses, an environment that not only fueled his passion, but also provided unparalleled access to the wisdom and expertise of those deeply entrenched in the sporting world. Adding to this unique upbringing was the fact that Patrick's godfather happened to be none other than the 21-year MLB veteran LaTroy Hawkins, further enhancing his exposure to the nuances of the game. By the tender age of 5, Patrick was already immersed in the world of baseball, engaging in long toss sessions with his father, Pat. This early dedication and methodical development of his arm strength set him apart from his peers, who had yet to even grasp the basics of a baseball or a football. The Mahomes household, with its expansive backyard, became a training ground for Patrick's extraordinary talents. By the age of 10, his powerful right arm had outgrown the backyard, and he could effortlessly throw a baseball over the outfield fence from home plate, a distance surpassing 200 feet. Patrick's exceptional athleticism transcended the boundaries of a single sport. He excelled not only on the baseball diamond, but also on the gridiron and the hard court. His versatility was evident, and when questioned about his preferred sport, Patrick's response was a simple, "Whatever's in season." As he transitioned into high school, baseball took center stage in Patrick's life. He envisioned himself as a baseball player, following in the footsteps of his illustrious father. High school became the arena where Patrick's talents truly blossomed. A two-way star on the baseball field, he showcased his skills as both a pitcher and a shortstop. By the age of 17, Patrick's performances had attracted the attention of MLB scouts, his fastball reaching an impressive mid-90s. His senior year added an exclamation point to his high school career, as he threw a memorable 16-strikeout no-hitter, leaving an indelible mark on the scouts in attendance. It was undeniable. Patrick Mahomes had big league potential. However, an unexpected twist was about to shape Patrick's athletic journey. Football emerged as a newfound passion. Named White House High School's starting quarterback in his junior season, Patrick's unorthodox playing style became the talk of the town. His remarkable arm strength, coupled with impressive mobility and an uncanny ability to make any throw, made him a force to be reckoned with on the gridiron. In his junior year alone, Patrick threw an astounding 46 touchdowns and averaged nearly 320 passing yards per game. While Patrick's focus was primarily on baseball during his high school years, football started to claim a more significant role in his life. His unique talents on the football field captured the attention of Texas Tech, a university with a pass-heavy system that perfectly complemented Patrick's skills. In 2013, 10 months before he could officially sign a letter of intent, Patrick committed to Texas Tech. Despite being selected by the Detroit Tigers in the 37th round of the 2014 MLB draft,
playing football and baseball was one of my main factors, and it kind of just gave me that over-the-top reason to commit there. I talked to both the baseball and football coach, and they both were perfectly fine with me playing both.
Patrick remained committed to his decision, envisioning a future where he could excel in both baseball and football at a prestigious Big 12 school. As Patrick embarked on his collegiate journey with the Texas Tech Raiders, a turning point awaited him. During the second half of his freshman season, Patrick was thrust into the starting quarterback role after an injury to Davis Webb. The transition marked the beginning of a remarkable chapter in Patrick's athletic career. He seized the opportunity and started each of Texas Tech's last 4 games in 2014, immediately showcasing his unique gifts. Patrick threw for more than 1,500 yards and 16 touchdowns, including a record-breaking 598-yard, 6-touchdown performance against a top 10 ranked Baylor team. Spring of 2015 marked another milestone, as Patrick, already a mini-celebrity on campus, made his first pitching appearance for Texas Tech's baseball team. However, it turned out to be his last. Consumed by football responsibilities and a considerably bulkier physique than his high school baseball days, Patrick struggled on the mound. His debut outing was forgettable, characterized by walks, hits, and a run scored. The writing on the wall became clear. Patrick's path was destined for the football field, not the baseball diamond. This turning point marked a significant moment of realization for Patrick. His once dream of pursuing a professional baseball career took a backseat to the undeniable truth that he was meant to be a quarterback. Entering his sophomore season, Patrick embraced his role with newfound determination. His unorthodox style and less than elegant footwork didn't conform to the traditional mold of a pro quarterback, but it made him unstoppable. As a junior, Patrick continued to make strides, refining his efficiency, improving his mobility, and dazzling spectators with his passing prowess. In his first full season as a starter, he finished 4th in the nation in passing yards and tied for 6th in passing touchdowns. Patrick's junior season elevated his status even further, leading the nation in passing yards, throwing 41 touchdowns, and improving his completion percentage for a second straight season. He became a force to be reckoned with, recording 500-plus passing yards in a game 4 times, including a historic 734-yard performance against Baker Mayfield's Oklahoma. Patrick's on-field brilliance earned him the Sam B Trophy, awarded annually to the NCAA's top passer. More importantly, he positioned himself as a potential first-round NFL draft pick. However, despite his undeniable talent, doubts lingered among NFL teams. Patrick's unorthodox mechanics, irregular footwork, and propensity for seemingly impossible throws made him appear as a risky choice. As a result, multiple franchises in need of a quarterback passed on him in the first round of the 2017 NFL Draft, setting the stage for one of the most significant regrets in recent NFL history. In the early stages of his NFL career, Patrick Mahomes found himself in the role of a rookie backup, serving behind the seasoned quarterback Alex Smith. Smith, a veteran with a proven track record, had guided the Kansas City Chiefs to an impressive 12 wins and a division title in the preceding season. The situation was a unique one for Mahomes, a young quarterback with immense potential. As fate would have it, Alex Smith continued his stellar performance into the 2017 season, leading the NFL in quarterback ratings. Mahomes, meanwhile, spent a significant portion of his inaugural season holding a clipboard on the sidelines. Despite not seeing much action on the field, Mahomes managed to captivate his teammates and spectators with his remarkable arm strength, evident during his pre-game warm-ups that turned into must-watch television for fans. It wasn't until Week 17, after the Chiefs had already secured a playoff spot, that Mahomes finally had his moment. On December 31st, 2017, against the Denver Broncos, Mahomes made his long-awaited debut. Though the stakes were relatively low, the occasion was historic, as it marked the first time in nearly 4 decades that the Chiefs had started a rookie at quarterback. Mahomes' debut was okay. His first NFL completion on his first drive went for an impressive 51 yards, setting the tone for what was to come. While he didn't set the world on fire, Mahomes threw for 284 yards on 63% passing, leading the Chiefs to a 27-24 victory. This performance, coupled with the Chiefs' early postseason exit, effectively kick-started a new era in Kansas City. Following their elimination in the wildcard round, the Chiefs made a significant move by trading Alex Smith to Washington. This decision signaled a clear transition, putting the franchise squarely in the hands of Patrick Mahomes. It was now showtime for the young quarterback. Mahomes didn't disappoint in his first year as the starting quarterback for the Chiefs. In the 2018 season opener, just over a week shy of his 23rd birthday, he threw for 4 touchdowns against the San Diego Chargers, leading Kansas City to a 38-28 upset. This commanding performance earned Mahomes the AFC's Offensive Player of the Week award. The following week, Mahomes continued his stellar play by throwing for 6 touchdowns, propelling the Chiefs past the Pittsburgh Steelers. This accomplishment earned him a second consecutive AFC Offensive Player of the Week nod, and he achieved historical distinctions by becoming the first quarterback to throw 10 touchdown passes over the first 2 games of a regular season. Mahomes' remarkable season continued, breaking records and reshaping expectations. By the end of the season, he had thrown a whopping 50 passing touchdowns, the most in the league, and just 5 shy of the single-season record. Mahomes also joined the illustrious company of Hall of Famer Peyton Manning as the only quarterback to throw 50 touchdowns and amass over 5,000 passing yards in a single season. The accolades poured in for Mahomes, rightfully recognizing his historic campaign. He took home the MVP and Offensive Player of the Year awards, securing a Pro Bowl nod and first-team All-Pro honors. The only trophy that eluded him in 2018 was the Lombardi Trophy, as the Chiefs fell short in the AFC Championship game against the New England Patriots in an agonizing 37-31 overtime loss. Despite the heartbreaking end to his sensational season, Mahomes remained optimistic about the future. "Right now," he said after the loss, "it's the end, but hopefully it's just the beginning." And indeed, it was just the beginning of what would become a transformative era for the Kansas City Chiefs. Expectations for Mahomes and the Chiefs were sky-high entering the 2019 season. The pressure, however, seemed to have little effect on Mahomes, as he picked up right where he left off. Through the first 3 games, he threw for 10 touchdowns and nearly 1,200 yards, earning AFC Player of the Month honors for September. A scary knee injury in Week 7 forced Mahomes out of the game against the Denver Broncos. But the resilient phenom returned just 3 weeks later. In his comeback game, Mahomes threw for 3 touchdowns and a season-high 446 yards. While his numbers weren't as superhuman down the stretch, the Chiefs finished the regular season by winning each of their last 6 games, securing another division title and the AFC's number 2 seed. Despite playing only 14 games, Mahomes still finished in the top 10 in the NFL in passing touchdowns and passing yards, ultimately coming in 4th in Offensive Player of the Year voting. Once again, the Chiefs faced tough competition in the playoffs, but Mahomes led them to a dominant victory in the divisional round against the Houston Texans. In the following Sunday's AFC Championship game against the Tennessee Titans, Mahomes threw for 3 touchdowns and ran in another, securing the Chiefs' ticket to Super Bowl 54. The stage was set for a showdown with the San Francisco 49ers. Super Bowl 54 proved to be a defining moment for Mahomes and the Chiefs. Facing a formidable 49ers team, Mahomes ran in the game's first touchdown himself and orchestrated a sensational fourth-quarter comeback. Down by 10 with only 9 minutes to go, Mahomes led the Chiefs down the field twice, connecting with Travis Kelce and Damian Williams for touchdowns. The Chiefs emerged victorious with a 31-20 scoreline, marking their first Super Bowl win since the AFL and NFL officially merged in 1970. Mahomes' outstanding performance did not go unnoticed, as he was named Super Bowl MVP, becoming the second youngest player ever to receive the honor. Additionally, he became the youngest player ever to hold both an MVP award and a Super Bowl ring, surpassing the legendary Emmitt Smith. Recognizing Mahomes' potential and his pivotal role in bringing the Lombardi Trophy back to Kansas City, the Chiefs signed him to a 10-year contract extension worth up to $503 million. This landmark deal marked the first $500 million contract in North American sports history. In 2020, Mahomes justified the investment by leading the Chiefs to a franchise record 14 wins, while finishing at the top of the NFL in passing yards per game, second in adjusted total QB rating, and fourth in touchdown passes. The postseason unfolded with the Chiefs poised to repeat and become the league's first back-to-back champions since the 2003-2004 New England Patriots. However, a formidable opponent stood in their way: Tom Brady. The Chiefs breezed through their first two playoff games, securing a second consecutive AFC championship thanks to Mahomes' brilliance. In the much-anticipated Super Bowl 55, Mahomes had an opportunity to not only seek revenge for the 2018 AFC Championship game, but also solidify his status as the game's top quarterback and a potential threat to Brady's GOAT status. However, Brady, the 43-year-old quarterback vying for his 7th Super Bowl ring, outclassed Mahomes, dismantling the Kansas City secondary and leading the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to a 31-9 victory. In contrast, Mahomes appeared genuinely out of sorts against Tampa Bay's defense, failing to score a touchdown for the first time in his professional career. The defeat also marked the first time in Mahomes' tenure that the Chiefs lost by double-digit points, showcasing the resilience of the young quarterback.
Yeah, I did. Obviously I didn't play the way I wanted to play, but what else can you say? All you can do is leave everything you have on the field, and I feel like the guys did that. They were the better team today. They beat us pretty good. The worst I think I've been beaten in a long time.
Unfazed by the setback, Mahomes returned in 2021 to remind everyone of his prowess. Despite facing challenges, including being among the top 5 in the NFL in passing yards and touchdowns, Mahomes propelled the Chiefs to another division title and earned a trip to the Pro Bowl. As the playoffs unfolded, the Chiefs once again looked like a Super Bowl favorite, with Mahomes throwing for 5 touchdowns in a first-round victory over the Steelers. The highlight was an unusual but impressive big man touchdown reception by offensive lineman Nick Allegretti. The Chiefs then advanced to the AFC Championship game, delivering a thrilling overtime victory against the Buffalo Bills in what was hailed as the Game of the Year. However, the Chiefs' championship bid ultimately fell short for a second straight year. Despite entering the AFC Championship game as 7-point favorites against the Cincinnati Bengals, the Chiefs squandered an 18-point lead, eventually losing in overtime. In a rare display, Mahomes threw 2 interceptions in the loss and took the blame on himself, emphasizing the need to be better when holding a substantial lead. 3 years into his NFL career, Patrick Mahomes had not only vindicated Kansas City's decision to trade up for him, but had elevated the franchise to the cusp of dynasty status. He had solidified his position as one of the faces of the game, a prototypical dual-threat passer and a future Hall of Famer. Recognizing Mahomes' potential for all-time legend status, the Chiefs signed him to a historic 10-year, $500 million contract extension, marking a significant investment in the quarterback's future and cementing his place in the team's history. With that type of contract, it was also hard to re-sign Tyreek Hill, as the wide receiver wanted to be the highest-paid receiver in NFL history. And as a surprise to everybody, Andy Reid refused to offer Tyreek the big bucks and parted ways with the electrifying receiver. When this happened, everybody and their mama counted the Chiefs out, as they were holding Tyreek as the reason for Mahomes' success. Some writers even said that Mahomes was going to get an expose about Tyreek. We've got to admit, Kansas City has not even come close to replacing Tyreek. They've brought in a bunch of average receivers, but still had the big dog Travis Kelce. For the past 2 years, we've seen a different Mahomes. More like Mahomes Brady, because we rarely see the 80-yard bomb down the field for a touchdown, but we see him manage the game to the wire and then go win it at the end, just like Brady did. Mahomes, as of now, has won 2 rings without Tyreek and has a total of 3. This is by far the best start in NFL history, and it wouldn't be a surprise if he gets to 8 rings by the time he retires. In my opinion, Mahomes is already the greatest of all time. What do you think?